I've been
Wow, let me drink some more Energize quick.
They're gonna know exactly what we're like before we even start this thing.
I'm like, we're live. And then you guys.
Good morning.
Yeah,
We just said we need to change the name of this call. Oh, Daisy wants to say good morning too. Sorry. We're gonna change the name of this call to Energize instead of coffee because we all drink that instead. Why do you start?
Lifeline.
Like, I normally drink coffee, but lately I've just I don't refuse, but like I'd rather have my Energize than have my coffee.
Oh,
so it's just been more Energized than anything lately.
Yes, speaker.
Sorry, yes, speaker. This is real life here. This is real life coaching. My baby doesn't like it when I close the door.
Palmer, you want to ask us some questions today?
Good morning.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, girls. I'm sorry.
Okay. I just commented below, so if you guys have questions as we're talking, just drop them below. We're monitoring the call so that we can see anything coming in. But first and foremost, I got some questions from people before we started. And number one, which I think is always good to just do like a quickie on, is like what made you start to begin with? So who wants to take it away first?
I can kind of do that one if you don't mind. So Rebecca, you go first.
Okay. So I started in October 2015 when I was in grad school. I was at like my wit's end. I didn't have any money, but I also couldn't stand how I felt anymore. So I sacrificed a lot. I sacrificed the extra, runs on the weekend to go get things that, like coffee or going out to dinner. I sacrificed that to save money to get this program. Once I did that, I was asked to coach multiple times because I saw immediate success. I did the 21-day fix. I saw amazing results, and my coach reached out and she's like, hey, you should coach. And I'm like, no. I said no probably about 10 times. And then finally one day she asked me, and it was in February, and I was at that time working 3 part-time jobs, 2 at school, 1 at home. And I talked to my now husband and I said, what should I do? And he's like, well, do you have to pay anything more? And I was like, no. And he said, then what do you have to lose? And I was like, okay. So I did that. And I don't know if we're going to talk about this, and we'll bring that up later, how this has helped us. So I'll leave it at that, but go ahead, someone else.
All right. So I kind of started coaching a little bit differently. I liked an ad on Facebook that my coach put up about sweating for the wedding. And I was like, oh gosh, I need to do that. But I just liked it and never thought twice about it. I had no idea what this could be. And yeah, it was just one of those things, when you're scrolling and things pop up and you're like, oh, that's cute. And then like I used to scroll all the time. And I am so extremely sorry right now.
Mom life, it is what it is.
This is real life. Steph, why don't you go? I'm going to get her something, and then I'll come back and do mine.
Mm-hmm. Don't mind me. I'm just finishing chewing my watermelon. This is what happens. We have screaming mom. We have pregnant lady that needs to eat 24/7, and then Rebecca who just decided to roll out of bed. I'm joking. I love you. So I got started. So let's see. I actually started in the challenge groups and doing these programs 3 years ago this month. I actually think that like my 3-year starting Beachbody is like coming up in a few days. But I didn't start coaching right away. I was just doing the programs. I believe, like Erica, and I think Rebecca came from it too. We all came from the Shedding for the Wedding, right? You didn't. Okay. So I had also seen the Shedding for the Wedding ad and had gotten engaged like 5 months before that, but had like weddings that I was going to be in that summer. And then I was getting married the following summer. So I started for the same reason. I grew up an athlete, so like working out and stuff wasn't a problem for me. I actually grew up with personal trainers, worked out with personal trainers almost my entire life until I graduated from college. I moved to Boston, worked out with personal trainers there. And then I moved to Myrtle Beach to be with my husband, then boyfriend. And I didn't have a personal trainer there at first. It took me about a year and a half to find one. And then once I found one, I was with her for about a year, and then we decided to move again. And I had felt like I had 2 great personal trainers like in a row, that like finding a third one, like typically you only find like that one that's amazing. So finding a third one would be like nearly impossible. So I started doing these workouts after being like a gym junkie. And right away would tell like everyone about it. Like everyone knew what I was doing. And so my coach asked me pretty much right away to start coaching. And I said no, because of all the reasons that I'm sure every single one of you have thought of. I'm scared. I don't know how to do it. I don't know enough people. I don't have a transformation, all of it. I gave her all those excuses for 6 months, and then finally was like, this seems silly that I'm sharing this with people. I'm doing it on my own, and I'm not going to stop doing it on my own, yet I'm not getting paid for it. So I'm already putting in all the work, and I'm just not getting paid. Like, this seems freaking ridiculous. So finally I said yes, and I started 6 months into it. And if you were on this call a couple months ago, I don't have the exact number written down with me right now, but I actually shared that. I took what I made in those first 6 months and added it all up so I could see basically what I missed out on from 6 months of not joining. And I think it ended up being like $1,500 or something that I made in my first 6 months, that I just think, okay, if I had started when I started this whole thing back in May, I could have made $1,500 that like probably in some sort of way would have changed our life. And like Rebecca said, we'll get to that in a little bit, but I just think of the money I missed out on. And we say it all the time, this isn't just money, you know, the satisfaction of helping someone just like feel better in their own skin is huge, but at the end of the day, it's a job, and we're making money, and we're here to make money. So think about that. Like, the longer you wait, compound all that money, and that's what you're missing out on, essentially.
100%. I agree. I am extremely sorry. I will start again. But I started coaching at the same time I started my personal journey. So I had 0 transformation. I honestly had 0 Instagram followers. I had a Facebook following, but it was just friends and all people in my head that wouldn't want this kind of thing. I thought I didn't have enough followers because, you know, you see all these top coaches that have like thousands of followers, and you're like, I have 5. Like, what am I supposed to do with those people? Well, those are your people. And somebody, this is kind of off subject of how I started, but somebody said this the other day about like, oh, you only have 800 followers. Well, what if you were in a room with 800 people? Wouldn't that be a lot of people to talk to? And I was like, I'm that person. I'm that person who always thinks I don't have enough people. And look at my, you know, your following that you build up. So that's something I hear all the time, that you don't, even like from people who are coaching, sometimes they're like, I don't have people to talk to. And I'm like, yeah, you do, girl. So I started it all at the same time because I had told my coach no and no and no, because I did not have the money. And I got Christmas money that year, and I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. I have the money now. And then our heat went out, and I couldn't do it because I was like, Kelsey, that money has to go here. Like, it's gold. We kind of need heat. And she presented the coaching opportunity to me. I thought she had like 10 heads and was crazy. That was not me. At the time, I had never even taken a selfie. I was honestly that girl who sat behind the screen, like judging anyone who did put one up there, because I was like, that girl just wants attention because she's putting up a selfie, to the girl who's like, look at this sweat bubble coming down my head, people. Isn't this pretty cool? You know, it's really changed. But the biggest change this week for me was that our heat went out. My husband had to get 2 new front tires, and my daughter needed shoes this week. And after paying for those first 2 things right out of my coaching money, we went last night, we went into Gordman's. If you don't have a Gordman's, I'm like obsessed right now. We went in and I got her shoes, 2 rompers, a toy, and I got myself some like Skinny Girl syrup, something for my shake. And we just like put it in the cart and like checked out because of coaching. And I could not start this because our heater went out, and I didn't have the money and maxed out a credit card just to buy my first package. So that is what coaching has done for me. And I know that's kind of rambling a lot at the beginning, but like, that just kind of all happened this week, and it's really heavy on my heart right now because I'm still struggling to put it all into words of like how 3.5 years ago I was like, no, I am not going to be a Beachbody coach, to today, like that just happened this week. So that was kind of a big for me.
I love how you said that too, because 3 weeks ago, I can't remember what it was, my very lovely husband was slightly intoxicated, and the girls already know this story, which is why they're laughing. Long story short, he fell off of a scooter, ended up in the hospital, had to get stitches on his chin, no biggie. Like at that point, we're just like, this is funny, but it's not really funny. And then he came home and because he went to this wedding by himself. So like lesson learned, he's not allowed to go to weddings by himself anymore. He came home and he like couldn't eat. And we were like, oh, your jaw is just like sore from the fall. Well, he went to the dentist and we found out that he had $7,000 worth of dental work to get done. And I'm 25 weeks pregnant. So the next day we were out meeting pediatricians, and I met him there straight after work, and he pulls in and he can't move the steering wheel on his car. And so we then had to take his car in to get work on, and we found out that was going to be $1,000. And in 2 days we found out we had $8,000 worth of stuff we had to pay for. And like I just said, I'm 25 weeks pregnant, aka I also have a nursery to get together, things to get for the baby to prepare, on top of all my own doctor appointments that I'm paying for and all of that. And I think back on that, like, not to say that I had $8,000 sitting in my pocket because of Beachbody, but I had money because of Beachbody that I was like, okay, this really, really sucks. Like, this is money we didn't expect to spend, but I'm also grateful that we had another source of income to be able to make up some of that money without feeling like my whole entire world was going to collapse, because that was a terrible 2 days. And a lot of us mentally go to this place of like, okay, now I should quit. Like, I should quit because I'm going through this. And that's when most people would quit, because life gets stressful and things happen. But I also think it's really important to know that, like, we go through these things too. So you guys are going to experience things like this and you're going to want to quit. And then it's like, okay, so what does quitting get me? Nothing. Then I end up with no money. Then I have $8,000 I owe in bills and no money. So it's one of those things too, where like, I just thought of that, like, you have to push through it as well. Like, it's not going to be easy. This is definitely a business and you have to treat it like one, but it rewards you like a business if you allow it to.
Yeah. And to kind of go off that too, like I said, I was in grad school when I started, and I had two choices. I could either continue to work the 3 part-time jobs to pay for, what I was doing with the shakes and the programs and stuff, to pay for that, or I could decide to coach, and that's what I decided. I believe it was within a month, I worked at a daycare. So at daycare, I did kind of babysitting for a little boy with special needs, and then I did an ice cream parlor. And this was my dream, you guys. I'm not kidding you. I was like, I'm going to graduate from school. I'm going to be a speech therapist, and I'm going to continue to work part-time at night, 5 to 9, at the ice cream parlor at home. That way we can have extra money, because I knew how much debt I was in. And that was like, I literally thought that was my dream. And so then whenever I found this opportunity, I was like, okay, I can finally, I can quit one. So I quit the ice cream parlor, because working there was just paying for gas to and from school. And then once I quit that, a couple months later, I matched my daycare income. I quit that. And so many people always say that they need that job for school. And it's like, in my eyes, I needed that extra time not being on call to do my studying and to make sure that I'm going to pass school. Because I don't know about you guys, I'm not a school person. I'm not a test taker, a horrible test taker. I did not do well. So it was a blessing to be in grad school to begin with. And then I'm not going to jeopardize that with a stupid part-time job. It wasn't stupid. It was helpful at the time, but whatever. So I decided to coach, and, it was the biggest blessing in my life. I was able to quit the 3rd part-time job. And every month I pay $900 in student loans. $900. That's more than my mortgage. So with this opportunity, I'm able to pay for that monthly with just this coaching job, plus put in savings every single month. I'm matching my full-time income well, almost matching my full-time income. And it's the best. And I still have my full-time job. I love what I do, you guys. And, some people will do it full-time eventually. Some people already do. Some people never will. So you can have a full-time job and be a full-time coach. And I'm sure that's another topic, but it's like people they're like, oh, I work full-time, I have kids. It's like, okay, give me anything, give me any obligation you have, and I will match that. And I will find someone in this business who's pushing through and doing it. And it's just really cool to see us all grow together too. Like, I want to talk about community. Can we talk about community next? Like, I just love that.
100%.
Enough about why I just want to.
You can see our stories on our story. No, I'm just kidding.
Follow us for Instagram or Facebook or whatever. But this community has done so much for me. Like, yeah, the money is great, but having friends is even better. And having people that you can come to, like, I talk to these girls every single day, not even about coaching occasionally, but like more so just about our lives. And without this, I wouldn't have that. And I just love that, we can reach out to each other. Erica and I are hosting a leadership retreat. I got my dog because of Erica. Like, I truly just love this community and what it's done for me in that aspect. So
I agree. And any mamas out there watching, like, I literally feel like a hot mess right now. Like, you understand that, your child just wants to be with you. It's Saturday morning. We're normally playing around, but I want to share this opportunity. So I am here. And one of my coaches on my team just texted me and said, you're rocking this. Keep going. And I was like, I needed that so much because this is real mom life. Like, it's what it is. And these girls don't care. And I'm over here like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And they're like, stop. You're fine. But like, when you're doing this, I'm doing this for her. Like, she may not see that right at this moment. Like, she just wants to play. But like, just like what I said earlier, like, she's got new shoes. I couldn't do those things without this. And honestly, health and fitness wise, I gained 60 pounds in pregnancy. Like, and that's all. I weigh less now than I did before I got pregnant with her. And I could not have done that without this opportunity. And honestly, yes, it's great to be a challenger, and it's awesome that we have challengers, but I would not have kept going as just a challenger. I would have quit many times ago because it's very easy to hide behind and just fall through the cracks and not, when you're not out there showing up, it's very easy to be like, I can skip today. Where one day this week, I worked out at 10 p.m. because I knew I had to log in my challenge tracker and show my challengers that they could. Where last night, I didn't work out, but I'm doing a 6-day-a-week program, and on Saturday and Sunday, I can make that up and still be on track, but I shared that. I got on my story and said, there's no tired, like, into the school year teacher tired. I went to bed at 9 o'clock, and it's okay that I didn't work out last night. I'm not upset about that because I can still make it up, but I got to be held accountable for that. And I know if I don't work out today and tomorrow, one of these two ladies or one of my challengers are going to message me and be like, where the heck are you? And why didn't you get it done? And I'm like, I'm sorry. No. I'm going to do it. But so that's a little different. I mean, I have food on my shirt right now. I just noticed that too. Like, this is just legit. And I know you'll see other coaches out there in this company who maybe they might be all dolled up and all of this, but this is who we are. Like we're in our pajamas, and that's how our team flows. And on Wednesday nights, we get together and have our team calls, and this is what we look like. So, and there's nothing against being dolled up. Like, if you like to be dolled up, that's you. But we're just saying, like,
I prefer to roll out of bed and do
that.
Yeah.
I prefer.
That's how we prefer to work out as well.
To work out and then come on here sweaty. It's fine. Yeah. It's totally fine. But Erica, I so agree with you because, like I said, I had worked out with personal trainers before, and so that was my source of accountability. But I was really only being held accountable on days that I worked out with them, and if I wasn't working out with them, then it was a struggle for me to get to the gym by myself, just because I was like, oh well, no one's holding me accountable. And a lot of people get nervous when they go from a customer to a coach because they're like, oh, well, like, I'm not sure if I'm ready, like I'm not there yet. But the one thing that all of us and any coach I have ever talked to realizes is you get more motivated the second you become a coach, because all of a sudden people are relying on you to just show up. And I'm not saying like show up and be perfect, because I can tell you 9 times out of 10, the 3 of us are so less than perfect. It's not even funny, but like that is what we love. And that's what people enjoy about us, is like we're falling over in our workouts, like we're laughing because like one of us just like fell off the step or like stubbed our toe, or like the dogs are jumping on us. Like it's just how it is. But we have this tendency now to show up not only for ourselves and for our families, but for our customers too, to prove to them that like no matter what's going on in life, like you can do this, it's fine. And it really has generated this amazing community. And, you know, as a customer, you start to feel that and you start to understand, you get to see everyone else in the group, you get to see them log, but there's something special when you make that switch and all of a sudden you're talking to these girls all the time. And like, you know, everything about them, you know, everything about their lives. I always grew up saying like I didn't get along with girls, and I truthfully don't, like I posted about this the other day. I truthfully don't think that it was I didn't get along with girls. I think I never found the girls that could uplift me in the way that these girls have, that I just assumed I could never have girlfriends. And you know, like all my friends were guys, and I was totally okay with that. Like I got along with them really well, but like I would never go somewhere by myself if it was just a group of girls and I didn't know anyone. Or I would never just show up somewhere without knowing anyone. Like that wasn't me until I started this, and I decided I would get on a plane and go to like North Carolina and meet people for the first time. And like that's crazy. Like that's like Craigslist stalker killer like status. Like those were things you didn't do. But the second that you make that switch, you just realize that it's so much more than just the money and the getting healthy and the working out. And some people come into this just for the community, and I've never seen people happier because of it. And so when people start thinking about this, I want them to know that like you can come into this for anything. If you're looking for that money, if you're looking just to get fit, if you're looking for a sense of community, and you end up getting out of it what you put in it. So no matter what source of energy you want to come in with it, like you'll get that if you just like let it work itself out type of thing.
Yeah, and it's like, it's one thing. We can tell you guys how much we make, and you know, that might be appealing to you guys, but honestly, that does not matter, because the money will come. If you do what you're supposed to do, if you go through the trainings that we provide for you, if you know, we hold your hand basically in the first couple of months, because we know what it's like when you first start. You don't know what to do. You literally like, who am I talking to? Like, what am I saying? Like, what do I post? We give you guys everything. So that's, you know, that's there. But if you don't find the right team for you, if you don't vibe with us, like, that's the biggest thing. And I know that every single person in this group right now is here for a reason. You either, we see potential in you, which is, you know, we see that you would make a great coach, and that you would join our, you know, you vibe with us, or you want to know what we're doing. And that's also awesome, because, you know, there's so much we have to offer for you guys. And it's just like, just say yes. I mean, I just get so passionate about this, because if I didn't say yes, I wouldn't be here. So just go for it. Like, what do you have to lose? And, you know, as far as the health and fitness, maybe you haven't started yet. Maybe you're just a random person who just wanted to see what we do. I said this in a post before, and I'll say it again. If you guys, which has been another comment that we've gotten, if you guys need your hair done, you'll go get your hair done. If you guys need to put gas in your car, you'll put gas in your car. If you need to go grocery shopping, you'll go grocery shopping. But if you need to get healthy and feel better about yourself, why don't you do something about it? Why do you sit there and bash yourself in the mirror? Why do you sit there and just go in shopping and buy more clothes because your other ones don't fit? Why don't you feel like you need to do something healthy for yourself? And be selfish, you guys, be selfish. Erica will attest to that. She's a mom. Steffi's a soon-to-be mom, but they're selfish in the way that they put themselves first for their health and fitness, because they know that it will better themselves as a mom, as a wife, as a daughter. And when you feel good about yourself, that will spread to other people.
Mhm.
And then they'll start seeing what you're doing. They'll want to know what you're doing. So when you say that you don't know anybody, you do know someone. But it's just you getting started is the first thing. So, like Erica, if you never did a thing in your life and you're just going to go all in with both, you can be successful. Erica's one of the top leaders on our team. And it's just, if she didn't say yes, she wouldn't be here, I feel like I'm going in circles. But
No, I know what you mean. And like back to the selfish thing, like when you're posting on social media too, there's a lot of people out there judging you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, I've gotten messages in my inbox about like it being a bad thing that I'm taking time away from my child to work out. And I could easily send somebody a clip of when we get to work out together because my child is barely walking and knows how to use the step. She plays with the bands. She enjoys it when she's in a good mood. She enjoys it. And it's not that I feel like I'm taking time away because most of the time I should get up in the morning before she. I'm not going to say that too loud because that never happens anymore. But, like it's finding that time because in the big grand scheme of life, I don't feel like I'm taking anything away from her by doing this. Like I never once had that feeling. I feel like I am bettering myself so I can provide better for her.
And you're being a role model for her too.
Yes. And she sees it and models it like already. Like they see everything you do. So stop flipping the bird. No, I'm just kidding. No more mouthing bad words as you're driving down the street. Because she sees everything. And in this way, it's a super positive thing.
It's so true. Like not only in that aspect, but you have to think about it. No matter what you do in life,
Mm-hmm.
someone is judging you. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Like you go get a haircut, someone's going to tell you that they hate the way your hair looks. Like you go get this new tattoo, someone's going to tell you it looks like shit. You decide to start getting healthy for yourself, someone's going to tell you that like you're already too skinny and you don't need it. Or you share on social media like this amazing accomplishment and someone behind the scenes feels like crap and they're going to let you know that you suck because they feel like crap. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen no matter what. Like if you think about it, you've probably been judged in your life for every little thing you have ever done, but you don't even realize it until you put yourself in this situation because all of a sudden you're super vulnerable and you're nervous about putting yourself out there. And now, however old you are. So for me now, 29 years into my life, I'm letting those things affect me. Like that seems silly because really behind my back, it's been happening for 29 years and I just haven't done anything about it. And so, one of the biggest things people say is, oh my God, I'm so afraid to post on social media. Why do you have a social media account? Do you post on it? Do you use it? Do you comment on other people's accounts? Like, okay, like that's all it is like at the end of the day, if someone can't be happy for you because of what you're doing, eliminate them from your life, please. That is why there's a follow, unfollow, block, everything. There is no stinking time for like people in your life that just can't be supportive of you. And I've learned that. And I learned that quickly in this business because I will say you will learn it very quickly because people will be rude to you. And the best thing I've ever done is just been like, okay, bye.
Yep.
And then the funny thing is then when they come back a year later and they feel like shit because they treated you like shit and all of a sudden they need your help, and we'll be the first ones to help them. We won't push them away because we were in that same situation one day when we needed that help. And so it's crazy. You'll go through these situations and you'll understand how to get through them. And one of the other things that like always bugs us that the two of us were talking about, or the three of us were talking about earlier, is we get that like money can be an issue coming into this. And like we've said, like that's some of the reasons we started doing this in the first place is to make more of an income. But as we've heard it a million times before, nothing in this life comes free. And if it's free, it's not worth it. And so one of the biggest things that we've learned, and like Rebecca said, like you'll go get your haircut if you need a haircut. And you'll go get groceries if you need groceries. But why is it when you need to do something for yourself, you won't do it? Mm-hmm. And we've all been in that situation. I mean,
I'm not judging you for that because we were there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and then it's like, the fun thing. Yeah, like, oh, you need to get your nails done, so you'll go pay to get your nails done, which like we all know manicure isn't cheap. But like the second you need to put the work in to get where you want to go, you won't do it. And that's just a mindset thing. That's you and your mind saying you already can't do it, that you're failing. And so that's one of the biggest things to keep in mind, because we've had these conversations with each other before where, you know, if you want it bad enough, you'll do it. And we're so over this stage of being like, it's easy, you can do it, it's not hard. It's hard. Some days suck. But like at the end of the day, everything we've talked about, why we're here, what this has done for us, the community, the friends, the money, all of that is worth any single thing I've ever been through. And it's just another job, but this is a job I enjoy showing up to. It beats showing up to my other job every single day.
Yeah, and it definitely outweighs the good outweighs the bad.
Mm-hmm.
The good, the rewards and the trip we earn and the community and the money, all of that stuff outweighs the one person that told you you couldn't do it, or the one person that is judging you on the outside. And you know what, guys? Love on them, because they need it more than you think.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go in with a mindset of helping, like I do this every morning, I just pray and I'm like, please, Lord, like just let me help one person today. And it might not be them signing up. It might just be them seeing me show up and like they go take a walk, or, you know, they decide to eat healthier that day. And that's enough for me, you know. And it's not about who's going to join me and who's going to sign up under me. It's not about that at the end of the day. It's about someone making a better decision for themselves and for their lives. And, you know, so just share your story with people and that will attract them back to you.
100%. Definitely.
So we don't have any questions.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Well, I feel like, so the questions that we had, I literally had them written down and I was like crossing them off as we were going, because I realized we kind of just tied it into everything. So, I mean, if you guys have more questions, like feel free to comment below this group, or below this video, comment in the group. We're super respectful of time, so we realize that we've already gone like a few minutes over.
Yeah,
like some of you need to go to do things, so we totally understand that.